Here's a collection of actual crimes committed by really dumb criminals. Just sit back and enjoy the insanity as we present. Stupid crime stories you just won't believe. In 2022, a 30-year-old man stole a car in Athens, Alabama. Not long after the theft, he lost control and crashed. The accident caught the attention of paramedics who just happened to be in the area. As you would expect, they stopped to check on the driver. They then took him inside the ambulance to render aid. However, they were about to find out that they were dealing with a criminal. Because instead of graciously allowing them to treat him, the man bypassed the patient compartment and entered the driver's seat. He then drove off, throwing one female EMT from the ambulance and trapping the other in the rear patient compartment. After driving some distance, he abandoned the ambulance and ran into the woods. Police quickly issued a manhunt involving the Morgan County K-9 unit. Eventually, the suspect exited the woods and made it back to the highway. At some point during the chase, he managed to steal a fire truck. That's right, a fire truck. Law enforcement spotted him and engaged in a pursuit of the stolen truck. According to police, after traveling about a quarter-mile off-road, the suspect crashed into a thicket where he totaled the fire truck. He tried to get away on foot, but was quickly apprehended by police officers and county deputies. He faces multiple charges, including kidnapping, after an EMT was trapped in the rear of the ambulance. He's also charged with assault for injuring the paramedic who was thrown off the vehicle when he sped off. In addition, he was charged with 3 counts theft. They also charged him with possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. After all that crazy driving, the only place he's going to end up is in jail. Apparently, driving off in an ambulance has become an epidemic, and there are plenty of stories out there. For example, in 2022, a 38-year-old man in Baton Rouge was being dropped off at the hospital by an ambulance around 3 a.m. But just as paramedics were getting ready to unload him, he jumped in the driver's seat and drove off. Why he did this is unclear, but Louisiana State Police wound up chasing him to East Baton Rouge Parish. They then used a device to successfully deflate the tires. But troopers said he still refused to stop. Instead, he rear-ended a Louisiana State Police patrol car and kept driving. Another trooper managed to ram the ambulance and ended the chase. However, they said that the suspect then ran away and jumped off an overpass. This resulted in him sustaining injuries which allowed officers to take him into custody. After being released from the hospital, he was booked into jail. Police charged him with theft and possession of a stolen motor vehicle, aggravated flight from officers, and other traffic violations. In 2015, a man went out for a drink at a local bar in Post Falls, Idaho called Club Tequila. After getting intoxicated, he was kicked out around 1 in the morning. Police arrived and gave the man a courtesy ride home. So far so good. But listen to what happened later.
According to the officers, he'd been intoxicated. So they gave him a ride home, and shortly after he got a ride home, we started receiving these 911 calls from him.
12 calls in all. The first was an unusual request. He wanted officers back at his house so they could discuss his bar tab.
He was demanding that the place he was kicked out of didn't overcharge him for him being down there.
7 minutes later, he called again, this time asking when the officer would be there. Then called back 2 more times and hung up.
As one officer put it, "We were responding to a prowler call, and while we're on the prowler call, he's calling 911 making sure he's not overcharged." After all that, the man still wasn't done for the night.
Along with the hang-ups, Poisoner also put the phone up to the radio. Dispatchers listened to 3 songs. The last time he called, he managed to tell dispatchers that they were just like his ex-wife. All this over a bar tab.
So instead of just going to bed and trying to sleep it off, he continued to call 911. Police finally had enough of his nonsense and decided to take him for another ride. This time, they were taking him to jail. In the end, he wound up facing fines of up to $1,000 and a year in jail for misusing 911. Sounds like those 10 beers are going to cost him a lot more than $30. In 2022, Tulsa, Oklahoma police said they received reports of 5 different burglaries at the same complex over a 2-month period. The method of entry was the same. The front door of the apartment had been kicked in and similar items had been taken. Alert neighbors were able to give police a description of the burglar. Turns out it wasn't a difficult task because this person was always wearing the same SpongeBob shorts and socks. Clearly, his outfit made people notice him. Well, if that wasn't dumb enough, we have more. The suspect started listing the stolen items for sale on Facebook Marketplace. But when he took pictures of the items, you could see the same SpongeBob clothing he had worn in the background of the photos. This led Tulsa police to the home of a 29-year-old man. While serving a search warrant at his apartment, officers found his SpongeBob outfit inside the dryer. They also recovered multiple televisions, phones, iPads, guns, ammunition, and other electronics from the apartment. Many of the stolen items were later returned to their owners. As expected with stories like this, police couldn't resist having a little fun. They joked that the thief's apartment did not look like the one owned by the real SpongeBob. Here is what they posted on their Facebook page. FYI, the suspect's apartment was not located in a pineapple under the sea. The SpongeBob fan was charged with 3 counts of second-degree burglary, knowingly concealing stolen property and possession of a firearm. According to police, he also had previous felony convictions. In 2015, a burglar broke into a home in Venice, California. Police say he entered the residence around 7 a.m. through an unlocked door. Inside was a woman and 2 teenage girls. They were unaware that there was an intruder in the house. The suspect grabbed an iPhone from the living room and quietly left. However, when he picked up the phone, he had also accidentally activated a video application on the device. The app took a selfie of the thief as he was looking at the screen. The image was then automatically uploaded to the internet. The owner of the iPhone was then able to log in, see the picture and provide officers with a copy. The local police department posted the image of the suspect online and asked the public for assistance in identifying him. Usually these types of crimes get solved when the victim's smartphone sends out its location and police are able to easily track down the criminal. Having a picture is just a bonus. No word on if this person was ever caught, but the look on his face says that he knows he messed up and it's probably just a matter of time. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Our weekly videos will feature such topics as stupid crime stories, classic TV, and the real stories behind popular songs from the past and present. There will be even more categories as we continue to grow.